Mutants, also known as Homo superior, are an offshoot of humans possessing the mutant X gene, which activates during puberty, giving those who possess the gene latent powers. There are multiple mutants possessing different powers, such as regeneration, telepathy, energy manipulation, and even reality manipulation. In this video, we shall see about some of the strongest mutants possessing the ability to manipulate energy, their origins and powers. So, without wasting any time, let's dive into the video. Gambit. Remy LeBeau, also known as Gambit, was a product of the Project Black Womb, a government-backed Black Ops project. Abandoned at the hospital for having burning red eyes, he was prophesied as the Le Diablo Blanc, or the White Devil. He was then abducted by Mr. Sinister, who'd manipulate him into taking down the Morlocks, a group of underground mutants living in the sewers. Eventually, Remy would become a rival and soon an ally to the X-Men. Gambit is an alpha-level mutant possessing the ability to shoot energy blasts in the form of projectiles. He's also a tactician and is skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Psylocke. Psylocke is a mutant fighter who uses telepathy in an aggressive fashion by focusing the totality of her powers into a psychic knife. The name first mentioned by the Dreadful Mojo was originally adopted by Betsy Braddock, the twin sister of Captain Britain, upon joining the X-Men. At some point, Braddock swapped bodies with Quanon, an assassin ninja with ties with the Hand. After returning to their rightful bodies, Braddock stepped in as the new Captain Britain, while Quanon has claimed the name Psylocke for herself, eventually joining the X-Men as well. Jubilee. Jubilee is a mutant born with the ability to generate explosive energy blasts, often compared to fireworks. After being orphaned as a young teen, Jubilee ran away and survived as she could in a shopping mall in Beverly Hills, by shoplifting and performing stunts. There, she was impressed by the X-Men, deciding to follow them through a teleporting portal to their base in Australia, where she stayed secretly hidden for a long time. At some point, Jubilee was forced to come out as the X-Men were attacked by the Deadly Reavers. She rescued the brutal Wolverine with whom she formed a close bond as a sidekick and a pupil. Her bravery and dedication soon got her a position in the X-Men. Boom Boom. Teenager Tabitha Smith had not gotten along with her parents for most of her life. Her powers emerged when she turned 13 and entered puberty, after learning there was a school for mutants in New York's Westchester County, which was, in fact, Professor Xavier's school for gifted youngsters, headquarters for the mutant superhero teams X-Men and New Mutants. Tabitha ran away from home, journeying there by train and giving herself the code name Time Bomb, and later, Boom Boom. Tabitha can create balls of plasma, which she calls her time bombs, which explode with concussive force. She can produce bombs from the size of a marble to that of a beach ball. The amount of concussive impact depends on the size of the bomb she creates, and she can, at least to some extent, control the amount of time until it detonates. Cyclops. Scott Summers is a mutant with the ability to fire destructive optic beams from his eyes. As the first X-Men Cyclops, he has ascended from superhero field leader to a mutant revolutionary icon. The firstborn son of Major Chris Summers, he witnessed alongside his brother Alex the apparent murder of his parents by the hands of the sheer Emperor Dakeen. As an introspective orphan and in the clutches of the nefarious Mr. Sinister, his deadly powers first manifested. After escaping Sinister's orphanage, Summers was rescued by Professor Xavier, a fellow mutant who ran a school aimed at helping mutants to control their uncanny abilities. Cyclops possesses the mutant ability to project a powerful beam of unheated concussive ruby-colored force from his eyes. His powers initiate through foreign energies channeled from an entirely different plane of existence and channeled through his body into concussive blasts that are released from his eyes. Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian Shaw was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania after his father, Jacob Shaw, fled the United Kingdom. He was raised in poverty, being forced to work in one of the local steel mills. Despite his humble origins, Sebastian proved himself a genius and was eventually accepted into the Stevens Institute of Technology, with a full scholarship. When he was attacked by some rich kids at a local bar, his mutant powers manifested, allowing him to absorb kinetic energy and release it against his assailants. Sebastian Shaw is an alpha-level mutant, who has the superhuman ability to absorb kinetic energy and metabolize it to enhance his own physical strength, speed, and stamina. This makes him extremely difficult to defeat in battle, as every blow struck against him only makes him stronger. Unusual tactics are required to defeat him, usually by incapacitating him or by attacking him shinically. Havoc. Alexander Summers, also known as Havoc, is one of the 3 children of Major Christopher Summers, along with his elder brother Scott Summers and his younger brother Gabriel Summers. He witnessed alongside Scott the death of his father at the hands of the Sheer King Dakeen, and was abducted alongside Scott by the nefarious Mr. Sinister. After fleeing from Sinister, he was adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Blanding, whose son was killed in a car accident. When him and his foster sister was kidnapped by the man who killed the original son of the Blandings, Alex's mutant powers manifested, incinerating the kidnapper. Later, Alex would join the X-Men, unaware of his brother Scott, who was in the identity of Cyclops. Havoc possesses the ability to constantly absorb cosmic radiation and store it in his cells as plasma, which would be released as destructive blasts. Sometimes, he wouldn't control his powers, so that he'd become a danger to his allies. In order to control his powers, he wears a special suit. Bishop. Lucas Bishop is a mutant born in a dystopic future who has traveled back in time and has joined the legendary mutants he had only known through bedtime stories, the X-Men. In his original timeline, Bishop served as a member of the XSE mutant police force. Chasing the criminal Fitzroy, Bishop entered an intertemporal portal and arrived decades prior to his own birth. With the X-Men, he reconsidered his authoritarian upbringing and found a family to get support from and rely on. Bishop can absorb the vast majority of types of energy, including magical, sonic, photonic, psionic, etc., either environmental or directed towards him, and he can project that energy from his body in different ways, whether in the form of concussive blasts, energy rays, explosions, fire, plasma, etc. In addition, Bishop can release the energy in the same way he received it, but with more force. The nature of his powers makes it difficult to damage him with energy-based attacks, while also enabling him to work well with any energy-using teammates. Proteus. Kevin McTaggart is the son of mutant expert Moira McTaggart, and politician Joe McTaggart. Like his mother, Kevin is a mutant with the ability to warp reality. Kevin's birth came about after Moira and her partner Charles Xavier identified the need for a reality-warping mutant in order to gain the ability to cheat death. Moira identified potential matches for herself and Xavier that might result in such a mutant, leading eventually to Kevin's birth. Kevin's powers burn out his body, leaving him in need of new host bodies to sustain himself. Kevin's only known weaknesses are metal and his need for fresh host bodies. Kevin possesses the ability to generate enormous psionic force from his energy form, which can warp and manipulate reality with his thoughts on an omega level, in a limited area around himself, although he is able to maintain and expand his sphere of influence into multiple areas throughout Earth, different dimensions, and planes of existence. Vulcan. Gabriel Summers, aka Vulcan, is the younger brother of Cyclops and Havoc. Born into slavery on the Sheer Throne World and artificially aged to the prime of adolescence, Vulcan found his way to Earth. After manifesting his powers, he became a pupil of Moira McTaggart and was then recruited by Professor X into a secret team of X-Men. After his first mission failed, he became dormant, floating on space until awakened by the energy released during the M-Day. Eventually, he made his way back to the Sheer Empire, where he began a relationship with Deathbird. Utilizing his godlike mutant powers and a legal loophole, Vulcan was able to usurp the Sheer throne. As Emperor, he led the Imperium into a devastating war with the Kree. Vulcan is an Omega-level mutant possessing the ability to manipulate all forms of energy, either it be psionic, cosmic or mystical. His energy manipulation powers are so vast, even Adam Warlock looks weaker in front of him. That's it guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, and if you're new to this channel, leave a subscribe too. Thank you for watching, see you in next video.